Happy full moon eclipse. And this full moon eclipse is happening in Pisces, which is the opposite of what it was happening with the solar eclipse that was in Virgo. So, very interesting energy today. I personally am feeling it very deeply in my own life. I found today, especially, I have very little energy, very tired. This is typical of full moons for me personally. Um, they're like very activating, and I find I don't sleep very well for a couple days leading up to one. And then during the full moon, I find I'm really tired. Like I find them really draining. Um, and it's new moons I find really like exciting energy. Like there's like fresh new beginnings with a new moon. Full moons are just like a lot. And this one is there's a lot of energy going on around it. Um, I know for myself personally in my own life, I feel like I've been kind of swept up into this incredible eclipse portal, and the quantum leaping has just been unreal, and my entire life is changing in the most magical and beautiful of ways. But it is very energetically draining, just like holding space for all of these changes to unfold. I'm hoping in the next like week or so, I can record a little like podcast kind of talking about what has been going on for this eclipse window for me. I did talk a little bit on it on a reel on Instagram about just everything that's been unfolding. But eclipses are just opportunities. It's kind of this little like doorway that opens, and it's like, hey, if you want to walk through it, come along. You don't have to. But if you're open to it, they really can change your entire life. Um, I personally have noticed, like tracking back through the last couple of moves I've had in my life, I can pinpoint at least 5 of them that I looked into, and every single one of them I moved during an eclipse window, or signed a lease during an eclipse window, or like something to do with a big move happened during an eclipse window. And that's exactly what's happening now. I'm going to be moving. It's a pretty big move for me. This one's going to be about 4 hours away. And going into this eclipse was not something that I thought was going to be happening. I have really had no plans to move. And there was really nothing in my life that was making me think I was going to move. But I just kept getting all of this energy of being like a feather in the wind and caught in this like tornado of a wind turbine. And just kind of seeing where I landed. And so it's been really exciting, but also very energetically draining. So, just want to kind of touch on a few of the energies that are occurring today. I am recording this on the day of the full moon eclipse. Usually I record them a little bit earlier, but life is lifing, so we're just going with it. So obviously we have a full moon happening today. And the full moon, it's technically, I think it's after midnight Eastern time. So like technically it's tomorrow. But it's in the wee hours of the morning. So tonight it's happening. And this is happening in Pisces. And what's really interesting is that the sun is sitting in Virgo. And so on the wheel, we call those sister signs. So they're actually opposite each other. So the shadow and light of each is just like there's a balance there. So Virgo is about, routines, the body, detail oriented, structure. And Pisces is the unseen, mystical, the mind, dreaming. It's everything Virgo is, Pisces is not, and then vice versa, right? And so it's so interesting having these two kind of like polarizing energies happening right now with this eclipse. And so the energy I'm really feeling is a lot of this like revelation energy, and then like a lot of disruption, releasing, and then like redirection. Like you're like, oh, this might be happening. And then it's, everything gets like disturbed and, uprooted. And then you just release and surrender, and then you're redirected. And it's a challenging energy, but it's a very beautiful energy to be sitting in. So I have felt a lot of this push pull between like surrender and control. Virgo, if anyone knows Virgos, Virgo can be like a very controlling sign. There has to be Virgo likes to have a plan, very focused on details and, analysis. Can we analyze this? Pisces has no plan. Pisces has a dream. So Pisces is like surrender and a lot of like intuition. And so you can feel this like tug of war happening between the two energies. This story has really been unfolding since September of last year with the last eclipse that we also had in Pisces. So looking back to what was going on in your life around that time could be helpful. This is very poignant for me. And just, I can really see the themes and how they're kind of, that cycle is closing, like that chapter is closing for me. The other thing I wanted to mention too is we have a Mercury Cazimi today, which is wild, but this is happening on the same day as the full moon eclipse. A Cazimi is basically when the sun and Mercury are like the same degree in the same sign. And so that's happening in Virgo. And this is like clarity, like revelation, like this like moment of like everything just like clicks into place. Any like missing information or like, things that you didn't see before, it's like, boom, it just clicks and you're like, oh, well, now I see it. That makes sense. And it can be this feeling of like you had sensed it coming, or like you knew something was, not right, or something was meant for you. And then it just, with this Cazimi, it just clicks. And so this energy is, I think, beautiful happening with an eclipse. Pisces is also, it's like, this is what the moon is sitting in right now. Pisces can be challenging. There could be like, again, it's like we have no clear course of action. It's very like dreamy, watery, and so it can be a challenging energy to like communicate through, to figure out the path. It's just a very much like, I'm seeing the card, my deck, the veil, where like we really can't see the path forward. We're just like, okay, it's hazy, foggy. I don't know where we're going. And like, because it's a full moon, full moons are about letting go, but it's also about illuminating. So it can illuminate a lot of things for us. And then again, eclipses. Oh man, eclipses just sort of it kind of like puts the moon on steroids. Like it gives us this energy of like sudden change, bringing things up out of the shadows that we didn't really want to see. Because this is kind of like the closing of the eclipse portal, it can also just bring a lot of like revelation of like, hey, this is what you've been moving through for the last couple of weeks if you weren't sure. Also moving on that like revelation, unexpected information, of course, Uranus, which is the planet of like, sudden change, sudden insights, like a little bit of like chaos, but like unexpected things is Uranus. It's forming a T-square to the eclipse and to Mercury. So it's like the moon and Mercury, and there's this like beautiful T-square that's happening. So, my gosh, plot twists. This is energy of plot twists, of like unexpected information, of just like, it's like creating this like, I don't know, it's almost like this like whirlpool of like all of these energies kind of like swirling around together. And it's a lot of this like breakthrough energy, breaking old patterns, like any kind of like disruption, or I'm kind of seeing like the Tower card in my mind from tarot. It's like, everything kind of comes crumbling down, but then there's like so much freedom attached to that and breaking old patterns and like just like sudden realizations. It's a really like freeing energy. And so like while it can feel very disruptive and a little bit chaotic, there's a lot of freedom attached to it. And as well too, like because the moon's in Pisces, like Pisces is like one of the more intuitive signs. It's a water sign. And it deals with the mind, right? Like mental health, but also like the mystical, right? Like one of the archetypes of Pisces is the mystic. And the fact that we have the moon sitting there and it is making this like T square with Uranus and then with the eclipse, like with the sun, it kind of like gives it this like, I don't know, it's like it gives your intuition this like, I'm almost seeing this like electrical jolt. Like it's like jolting your intuition. And so it's just like, obviously like the Mercury Cazimi, honorable mention there. Because like it's making this, so Mercury is having this beautiful Cazimi with the sun and then is making this aspect to Uranus. It's like it's all kind of connected in this whirlpool, but it's going to be like taking your intuitive knowing and then like new information that the Mercury Cazimi is giving us, so helpful. And then it's like, boom, breakthrough energy. So we love this. Some other like honorable mentions. Saturn is kind of doing some things for us. So Mars is squaring Saturn. So like, don't love this. Mars is in Cancer, and as a Cancer sun, I would actually Cancer sun, Mercury, Venus. I have a oh gosh, what's that called? Stellium in Cancer. So I'd really love Mars to move along out of Cancer, but we can be feeling a lot of this like frustration energy. Very true for me right now. Saturn demands mastery. So it like slows things down. It's like, don't do anything too quickly. Let's like slowly kind of figure this out. And Mars is the planet of like force, drive, and ambition. So like, love that. Square is a challenging aspect. So it's not bad. It's just kind of like, there's opportunity there. There's friction. Okay. So right now, as you're getting all of this like beautiful downloads and clarity and the eclipse is rocking your world and like all of the things are happening. Don't worry if you don't feel like you can take action. It's okay. You're not supposed to. Don't force any movement. There's going to be a lot of frustration and delays happening. What this is doing is actually like preventing you from going in the wrong direction or making the wrong moves. So like, just trust it. It is literally happening for you. I promise. This is an energy of like, let the dust settle. So like, the tower. So Uranus is tower momenting our lives right now, and everything is crumbling down to the ground. And when we're dealt with that uncertainty, we can want to move. I'm an Aries rising. I want to like do the thing. I'm like, okay, let's let's figure it out. Let's figure out what's going on here. Let's like make a plan. Let's do it. And again, don't forget like Mercury and the sun are both sitting in Virgo. The sun is what's causing this eclipse off the moon. So like we have a lot of that like Virgo energy at play, and we want to like have a plan and analyze things and then move. And we can't right now. And you're not meant to. So let the dust settle, let everything calm, and then the way forward will be clear. We also have Jupiter trining Saturn. Jupiter, planet of like growth and expansion. It amplifies anything it rubs up against. So we do have growth happening like underneath all of this like chaos. As your world is burning down, we do have this like there's growth happening. I'm getting this image of like like forest fires. They obviously like burn everything, but afterwards it's actually really, really good for the environment. It brings all kinds of nutrients back to the soil, and it can actually be really healthy for a lot of forests to be able to grow. There's actually like some types of plants that can't reproduce without the heat of a forest fire. I believe, oh gosh, I can't remember. What's it like redwood trees or something? There's some kind of tree that like the like acorny pod that the seed is in actually needs the heat of a fire to open. Might not be redwood trees. There's a type of pine tree. Anyways, not important, but you get the idea. Like, it requires this like intense heat of destruction to be able to start a new life. And that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling here, that, Jupiter is giving us this like really supportive energy to be able to like build our next chapter. Saturn's just making us do it slowly. It's like, hey, okay, that's great. You have all these great ideas, one step at a time. Let's like really think about this. Um, so we have this energy of like expansion from Jupiter, but then like structure from Saturn. So go build the thing, just like make sure you do it, one step at a time kind of energy. So yeah, like essentially overall, it is a very supportive energy. If you're open to it, and if you're open to just like ride out like the chaos right now, it's leading us somewhere that is like just beautifully aligned for this next chapter. It's like higher timeline. Like I'm just kind of getting this image that it's like, your life looking back a couple months from now is going to be completely different. And like, that's such a fun energy to be in, because we want growth, we want change, otherwise stagnation. And that's not good. Nothing good comes from stagnation. Things rot and fester. So change is good. And it's really just about like staying open to like the wild and crazy possibilities. And like I talked about this with the reading I did last time, but it's like, can you be okay sitting in the discomfort? As everything is like crumbling down and you're, completely changing your entire world. It's like, can you be okay just to sit here for a little bit and like sit in this before we like plow forward and start moving towards the new chapter? Like, just like sit here in the closing of the old before we move forward and start the new. So that's kind of the message that's coming through astrologically. Let's pull some cards. I've got my deck here, Crossroads Oracle. So let's do a legitimate shuffle and see. I'm curious which ones want to come through, because I can see quite a few in my mind that would be really good for this energy that we're in, but let us see. Actually really hard to shuffle with this mic here, but okay. Okay, let's see. There we go. Ooh, okay. So also I don't know if you guys can hear my neighbor pressure washing his car at the moment. I apologize if you can, but city living. Okay, so we have the fox. Okay, so the fox is a messenger card, and the fox is really asking you to. The foxes are so resourceful. This is what I love about them. It's like, they're all about adaptation. Foxes are actually one of the animals you'll see in urban environments the most, because they're able to, which is so surprising. People don't think that foxes are like in cities, but they are, because they're like, they so easily can adapt to their environment, whether it's like the wilderness or like downtown Toronto. You see foxes. They're just very, very good at staying out of sight and being hidden. But anyways, the thing that the fox is bringing forward to me is like adaptability and like resiliency. Like during this time of like great unrest and just uncertainty, like we have so much uncertainty happening right now. Even if your life is not being like uprooted by the eclipse right now, there's so much unknown. And so the fox is really asking you, like, no matter what comes to you, whatever it is, can you adapt? Can you be resourceful? Can you just pivot? Be like, okay, no problem. I'll figure it out. I'll, problem solve, oh, obstacle, no problem. Let's just like pivot over here. And when you have that flexibility in your mindset, you're able to like overcome challenges so much easier. It's not that they're not still hard, but they don't like weigh you down as hard when you're able to like trust in your own resiliency and know that like no matter what, you're going to figure it out. You'll figure it out. Doesn't mean it's not hard. Doesn't mean it's not stressful. Doesn't mean it doesn't give you anxiety. You'll figure it out. You've done hard things before. that's kind of the energy the fox is bringing forward in this reading. Because I suspect a lot of you are very similar to me, like going through a lot of change right now and a lot of just like upheaval. And again, like beautiful energy. And I am so excited. But of course, there's anxiety there too. There's energy of like, what am I doing? Was this a good idea? But it's again, it's reminding yourself, it's like, I'm resourceful. It's okay. I'm moving to a city I've never been to. I'll figure it out. Like I've done this before a couple of times, actually. Sagittarius moon. This is like my fourth time moving to a city I've never been to. And so, fifth time, maybe, regardless. It's okay though, right? Like we find our community, we find our people. You find where the closest grocery store is. Like no matter what happens, you figure it out. And no matter what you're going through right now, this card is bringing forward that energy too of like, okay, it doesn't matter. Like think of the fox, right? The fox is just living his best life in the forest and suddenly there's a subdivision. He's like, okay, no problem. I'll figure it out. And that's when you see foxes in people's backyards and, people freak out because they think they're going to eat their cats, and foxes don't eat cats, but they're actually like, they eat small vermin. But anyways, that's the energy to come forward with this. It's like, okay, you know what? We'll pivot. We'll figure it out. Okay. Stay flexible. It's the energy that's really coming through here. Okay. Let's say another one. See what else let's take through here. Just like shuffling very good. Sometimes I swear they all come out together. Okay, we'll do one more. Ooh, see if I can get it. Let's see who else wants to come through here. No, there we go. Oh, okay, we got another messenger, another animal card. Interesting. The serpent. I think we can guess what I'm going to say for this one. Just looking at this card, I love it. It's like a little bit dark on the camera, but shedding your skin, right? We know I'm going to go there. There very much here is an energy of like shed. Again, it's adapting as well. I've pulled this card before and I've talked about this, but for like reptiles, for snakes, if they don't shed their skin, it can actually kill them. Like it can be incredibly dangerous. There's certain types of geckos coming to me slowly, leopard geckos. If they don't shed the skin around their eye, they can actually lose their eye. They'll go blind. Like it's crazy how important it is for these animals to be able to shed the skin. And if they're not living in the right environment, so if the environment isn't humid enough, they're not able to shed their skin and they will die. This is why it's so important to have the proper, setup for like reptiles in captivity. But the point of this is if you are no longer living in an environment that allows you to grow and to like shed that skin in a safe way, like it is detrimental to your health. And so whether this is physical environment, city, job, friends, like whatever environment you find yourself in, this is where it's, an opportunity here with this full moon eclipse, to really take a look at that. Like, how do you feel in these environments? How do you feel after you've been in them? Are they supporting your growth or are they hindering them? Because this is really, what the energy is bringing forward here. Like, yes, this eclipse could literally physically move you, but it's also really taking the time to look at the environments you're in and like whether or not they're supportive, whether or not, like it's encouraging you to shed your skin. Cause we, really ideally, we should be shedding and evolving all the time, and like growing. And if you're in environments that restrict that, that's not really a good place to be. So opportunity here to, all like to shed the skin that you're currently in and allow yourself to grow, but also to ensure that the environment that you're in is supporting that. Okay. All right, let's do one more. See what else we can do. These two, like, so this is what I meant. This is card 29 and 30. And I did shuffle multiple times. You all saw me. So interesting that they kind of come out together. Let's see. See what else wants to come through here for our last card. Nope. Just had one like flip out and did it go upside down? Sometimes they go upside down and then like go back in. Nope. Okay. Keep shuffling. We're playing with this today. So funny. The other two came out so quickly. Oh, there we go. Okay. What do we got here? Okay. I don't think I've ever pulled this one on here before. Got the crown. I love this card. I love every card, if we're being totally honest. I don't think there's ever a card that I'm like, this one wasn't the vibe. I love all of them. Um, okay. So this card is really about mastery. Okay. So it's embodiment. But it's more than that. It's really a card about like, um, like it's you've earned the crown by going through the trials. This is actually like the last card of the key suit. And it's like it's their tools, the keys. And so this is a card of like, I've gone through all of these trials and like, applied all of these teachings that I've received. And like now on the other side, like it's like sovereignty. Like I've stepped into my mastery. This is who I am. And I am here to, take everything I've learned and then like move forward. And so I think this is a really interesting card, kind of like looking at this, like sequence that we have here, because we have like adaptability, like make sure you're in an environment that supports you. And then it's like everything you've learned up until now, like everything that's happened to you, all of those past chapters in all the books of your life, like embody those, right? It's like we don't throw them away. It's not like a chapter ends and we close it and we're like, okay, bye. You put it on the shelf. And now it becomes like, the collection of the volumes of your life. It's like any book series. It's like you don't pretend the first like 3 books of the series didn't exist. You build off of them. And so it's like taking the past and taking, everything that you've experienced in your life thus far, and like perhaps those chapters that are closing right now, and we embody them. We learn from them. We don't, it depends, like, it obviously depends on like what you're currently going through. But those difficult chapters of your life too, like we don't pretend that they didn't happen. We acknowledge them, like we thank them for what they taught us, and we like close the book with love and like put it on the shelf and like look forward to moving, on to something different, something new, something better. And so like that's really the card here, is like we are taking everything that we have learned on the journey thus far and like moving forward onto our next adventure. It's interesting because like in the deck, the next suit is the realms. And the realms are like, the places that you find yourself. And so it's like we're taking all of those lessons and like we are moving on to like the next adventure. So overall, that's really also just the energy of this eclipse, like all of the astrology that we're experiencing, energetically. That's what I've been feeling a lot, again, like in my own life. It's just like, it's not even chapters closing, it's like volumes closing. I feel like encyclopedias of my life are closing. And it's just like, it's just like a beautiful opportunity to write a completely new one. And so it's about having that adaptability and that curiosity for what's coming next. And being okay with sitting in the discomfort. I know it's hard. I am here too right now. Let the dust settle, let everything calm. And then I promise the energy is going to shift and you'll be able to move forward with so much more clarity. That Mercury Kazemi today has just been beautiful. I swear the amount of like communication struggles I've had over the last week, and it's not even a Mercury retrograde. And it all cleared today with that Mercury Kazemi. Communication has been amazing. So we are definitely here for that. And yeah, just again, stay curious, stay open to whatever's coming. Full moons are all about just like releasing. So whatever's coming up and coming forward, just let it and let it move through you. Okay, let it move through you, send it off with love, and just stay real curious for what is coming around the corner because it does feel just collectively, it feels really expansive right now. Like the nodes have recently moved into, like the North nodes have recently moved into Aquarius. And this just really feels like collectively a beautiful shift. And I've talked about this before. I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago. We were kind of talking about like, how do you interact with like the world around you? So I really feel like a lot of that energy is coming up as well. So anyways, I hope you have a wonderful full moon and a beautiful eclipse. And I will talk to you in 2 weeks for the next new moon. Bye for now.